Hey everyone, it's Catherine here. For those who don't know me, my name's Catherine. I am the broker and owner of Three Mountains Realty. We specialize in second homes and vacation properties with a strong emphasis on absentee homeowners. So we do a lot of selling properties. We work with all kinds of different buyers, mostly vacation homes and investment buyers. But for our sellers, we primarily focus on like people who have vacation homes, absentee homeowners. We do a lot of foreign owners as well. I'm a certified international property specialist, SIPS designation. I also am a member of FIAPCI, which is an international group, as well as a member of the Canadian Real Estate Association. So I get a lot of people who are overseas who are thinking about selling their second homes. And so what I wanted to talk about today was FIRPTA. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. I really like this website. I've never used FIRPTA Solutions as a vendor, but they have a really, really great website that I will link below if you're watching this on YouTube. So let's just chat a little bit about FIRPTA. One thing is whenever I have a property that somebody's thinking about selling, I always go ahead and give what's called a sample net sheet that shows a breakdown of the closing costs because I like having everything disclosed up front. And the biggest line item is FIRPTA. So FIRPTA actually stands for Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act, and it was created in 1980. And a lot of people think that FIRPTA is how much you owe in taxes with your capital gains when you sell a property, but it's not. I like to think about it as an insurance policy, but they call it a withholding. And the reason why I like to call it an insurance policy is whether you or I or anybody else sells a property in the United States, the sale gets reported to the Internal Revenue Service and it counts as income on your taxes. Whether or not you're selling it at a gain, at a loss, it doesn't matter. But what happens is, like, if I sold a property in the United States and I did not pay my taxes, the IRS could find me. They can garnish my wages, they can take my property, they can find me. But for foreign owners, they can't find you. And so for the IRS to make sure that they're getting their taxes that are owed to them, they do FIRPTA. Okay. It used to be a 10% withholding, and right now it's 15%. So you're going to see it as a line item, 15% of whatever the sales price is. It doesn't matter how much you bought it for. It doesn't matter what your closing costs are. 15% of that top line number is withheld at closing. Now, we always suggest working with an accountant who can handle FIRPTA. And as I'm recording this, it is October. And this is kind of an important time of the year because towards the end of the year, if you have been considering selling your property and you are a foreign owner, now may be the time, because as long as it closes by the end of the year, then you can report it on your 2022 taxes that you can file as early as January 2023. But if you don't sell it right now and it sells next year, then you have to wait until the following year. So a lot of times, let's see. A lot of times, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, this is where I was going with it, about the exceptions. So sometimes people ask me, like, is there an exception to it? So here's a couple things. Number one, if you're selling at the property as a loss, you still have to withhold that 15%. If you have a mortgage on the property and you're debating selling, there is a chance that you may need to bring money to the table. So that's why this to me is very important, especially if you are a foreign owner with a mortgage on the property, because the mortgage has to get paid off at closing, but you still need that 15% withholding. Now, there are a few ways to get around the 15% withholding. This is the thing. If within certain circumstances, if the buyer is purchasing the property to live in full time, they may sign they may sign something that says, especially if it's under $300,000, that they certify that they will reside in the property 50% of the time in the first 2 years. But here's the thing, if a buyer signs that, it really does open them up to liability if you then don't file your taxes. So most agents will suggest, and attorneys will definitely suggest, that buyers do not sign anything. So you always need to assume that that 15% is going to be withheld. Sometimes it's an added bonus where, for example, the buyer signs a declaration that even though the property is over 300,000, then they can sign a declaration saying that, yeah, they're going to live in the property. They'll still take 10%. But again, there is that possibility. But I always like to tell people that they're just factor in that they're going to withhold the full 15%. All right. You can also apply for a withholding certificate. So if we're not towards the end of the year, like let's say you closed in the beginning of the year and you don't want to wait until January, especially if you're selling the property at a loss, the accountants can go ahead and apply for a withholding certificate for you to hopefully recoup that money a bit sooner. All right. And one thing is if you're a foreign owner and you have an investment property here, I'm going to wrongly assume that you're paying taxes every year. We find that sometimes people don't, and then that's something else that needs to be dealt with at closing. There's no way to get around it because, again, the sale is reported to the Internal Revenue Service. But if you just have a second home, or if you do have an investment home and you haven't been paying income tax, you will need an ITIN, an International Tax Identification Number. It's similar to a Social Security number here in the United States. And the accountant can also get that for you. So if you have any additional questions, please leave a comment. I really do appreciate extra questions because if it's something I don't know, I love kind of learning and finding out. If you need recommendations for some accountants because you are a foreign owner and you're getting ready to sell your property, we can definitely give you recommendations. If there's anything else, just let me know. All right, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.